Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is my thoughts on Wakaliwood films. And before I go any further and share my thoughts on the film work of Nbwana IGG and Ugandan Cinema, and specifically the films Who Killed Captain Alex and Bad Black, I want to give a special shout out to John for requesting this video. And if there's another film, TV show, or topic that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to my PayPal. The link will be in the video description down below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. Now, also before I go any further, I want to apologize to John for the long delay for this video. I just didn't quite know exactly how to talk about these films, because I did see them. I just didn't feel that there was enough content or enough thoughts that I had for either one for them to have their own separate reviews. Also, I feel a typical regular review that I do for a lot of films that I've talked about on this channel, I don't really feel that's necessarily fair to the films of Wakaliwood, considering the circumstances of their creation. So I wanted to just do something a little bit different here, still share my initial first thoughts and feelings on these two films, but at the same time also open up a bit of a discussion on what I consider to be something that is honestly really cool, and that is Wakaliwood Cinema. Now, Wakaliwood Cinema is also known as Ugandan Cinema, and it's a very small subsection of cinema that is based in Uganda, and it is made by a company called Ramon Film Productions, which was started by the film's by a lot of the film's director, Nbwana IGG, and he also wrote a lot of the films for Ramon Films. And the whole story of Wakaliwood, it is enough for a documentary, and in fact, that is something that is in the works, and I honestly am really looking forward to it, because I find this to be a really awesome true story of perseverance, and of how even despite the odds and despite the lack of resources and funding, somebody can get together with whatever they have and passion for cinema and create films. Now, the first film that really got any sort of acclaim or really got any sort of buzz was Who Killed Captain Alex, which was directed and written by Nbwana IGG. And the film really was never intended to be seen outside of Uganda. It even says so in a disclaimer before the movie starts. And that's why I look at a film like that and Bad Black as the equivalent of a home movie, so to speak, here in the States. Like something you made with a group of friends, and you made it for fun, just because you like movies and you wanted to make your own movies. It wasn't anything that was necessarily intended to be seen beyond that capacity. And there is a certain charm and a certain fun to that. And I really do feel that despite the incredibly low production values, I think Who Killed Captain Alex cost $85 American, which is crazy to think about. But when you see the movie, you can see it. But that was honestly quite an impressive feat that Nbwana IGG, he was able to even do what he ultimately did with this film, considering what he had to work with. I mean, this man is a testament to perseverance. He wanted to make films so much that he did everything that he could in his power to make it a reality. And a lot of that included him just having to make do and be really creative in how he managed to do this. He built his own camera out of scrap parts. He created a computer. Yes, an actual computer, and built that out of spare parts that he found lying around and used that to cut and edit the movie. I mean, this is crazy stuff. And the film itself, it's pure schlock. You know, there's not much of a plot. It just really is an excuse to have as much carnage and gunfighting and martial arts and explosions and helicopters as possible. And there are a lot of scenes that are very much the epitome of padding, the running time, and it doesn't necessarily have what you would consider to be a consistent tone when it comes to the story. There's not much depth when it comes to the characters. And if I were to judge the film based on typical normal merits that I do with other films on this channel, it wouldn't get very high marks. But the thing is, I'm not going to do that because, like I said, it's like someone's home movies. And this was made for the fun of cinema. And with so many limitations and so many things that were holding the people involved with this production back, that I can't help but be charmed by what they ultimately did release and come up with. And at the same time, it's pretty entertaining, especially with the commentary by VJ Emmy. I would say the best way to go into Who Killed Captain Alex is the way that I went into it, completely blind, with the version with the Joker commentary that's on YouTube. Because if you go into it completely blind, it can be an uproarious and really enjoyable experience, despite the lack of production values and the bad acting and all of these other technical elements that aren't really top notch. The film is pure hilarity at times. Like, I have not laughed so hard at a movie in a long time. And it does. It has a certain endearing quality to it because of the fact that this is all made for fun, out of the love of cinema, out of the filmmakers' love for action movies, and the fact that they were even able to get any CGI, considering the $85 that they had for the budget, is honestly impressive. And unlike other so bad it's good kind of films, Who Killed Captain Alex is actually entertaining. And on top of that, it's legitimately so bad it's good because of the fact that the people involved with the production, they meant well. They weren't deliberately trying to make a crappy film. And that's something that you need in a so bad it's good experience. That's what you need. That's why The Room is so entertaining. That's why The Room is a so bad it's good classic, or Troll 2. People behind these films, they were not deliberately trying to make something like Sharknado. That wasn't the intention. They were trying to make a legitimate film, and it just turned out to be something that was a transcendent train wreck. And I think this is Who Killed Captain Alex is kind of similar in that regard. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the first time viewing of Who Killed Captain Alex with VJ Emmy doing the commentary and with the English subtitles. I mean, how can you not love a film that uses a pan flute cover of Kiss from a Rose by Seal? But yeah, I really had fun with Who Killed Captain Alex. Bad CGI and all. And honestly, some of the martial arts, some of the choreography was actually pretty decent for the circumstances and for what everyone had to work with. and for the lack of experience when it comes to fight choreography. And there are even some bits with like blood squibs that they created from scratch that actually look pretty good as well. And there were also maybe a few different shots in the film where you're like, okay, maybe this Nbwana IGG guy actually has some genuine talent as a director. You could definitely feel the passion for film in every frame. And some of the acting wasn't that bad either. And the script, while it's not that complicated or that unique, there's enough going on. There's enough of a plot to drive the narrative and drive the story and make you care about what's happening next. But in all honesty, it's not the plot that really makes it the most engaging of a watch. It's just how unpredictable the film can be in terms of the humor, Joker's the commentary by VJME, and what just abysmally bad CGI effect you're going to see next. Now, I also watched Bad Black, which was their follow-up, and I personally absolutely preferred Who Killed Captain Alex. I had more fun with that movie. That did a better job when it comes to making me expect the unexpectable, and it was just a much more enjoyable experience, and the tone was more consistent. Because that one was very over the top. Nbwana IGG didn't solely write Bad Black. He wrote it with this other guy named Alan Hoffmanis, who also was in the cast as the Dr. Alan. And Alan is a guy who actually was a fan of Who Killed Captain Alex. And I think he was from like a film festival circuit. And he was, I think honestly, he was in America. And he decided to go to Uganda to try to do a documentary on Wakaliwood Cinema and Nbwana IGG and his production company, Ramon Films Productions. And he wound up befriending Nbwana IGG and other people in Nbwana's community in Uganda, and he became a co-writer on Bad Black, and he was also in the film. And I think his involvement is a reason why there are some moments in the script where it loses that just over the top, just kind of lost in translation to American audiences kind of vibe that made Who Killed Captain Alex kind of an instant cult classic. Bad Black, there are a lot of elements here when it comes to the narrative and the script that definitely do feel more polished, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it equates to something better. Because to me, it makes it more generic at times, and at others, it really affects the film's tone. The movie has a lot of moments where it seems like it's really taking itself seriously, where Who Killed Captain Alex never took itself seriously once for the most part. This film, on the other hand, there's some serious moments of drama, and then you have VJME doing his narration. You got the opening with the Subaru, 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 vroom, 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 and, Swaz, the Ugandan Schwarzenegger. Like, you have all that going on, and then you have stuff with kids being poor and being manipulated and used by people, and a lot of other stuff that's going on with Bad Black and what happened when she was a kid, and then when she's an adult trying to get revenge, and it just doesn't fit as well. And of course you have the other stuff with Alan too, and him being trained by this kid. And you have appearances by Bruce Yu again, the Ugandan Bruce Lee, and there's just a lot of stuff in it where it's just kind of, it's like they're trying to do the same sort of thing with Who Killed Captain Alex, but they're also trying to be more of a serious drama, and that doesn't really fit as well to me. I don't know what I don't know what my cat's issue is. I guess Olympus really wants to chime in on Wakaliwood Cinema. Just it's that time of night for my cat. Um, but yeah, Bad Black, it wasn't bad, but I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as Who Killed Captain Alex. Um, it wasn't as funny, that's for sure, and it definitely wasn't as consistently entertaining. Now, when it comes to Hollywood films in general, I think it's a really interesting series of films, and honestly, it's a cool story. I've said that numerous times, and I think it bears repeating. It really is an awesome story that Nbwana IGG and VJ Emmy and all these other people involved with these movies were able to get together and out of a common bond of just loving films made their own movies and got them distributed, and people saw them on YouTube. Who Killed Captain Alex was viewed over 8 million times. And I really support them. I support them making whatever they want to make next. And I really think it's quite awesome that you have people in this world that are driven solely by the love of film to continue making movies and hone their craft. And through the internet success of Who Killed Captain Alex, Wakaliwood has gotten a little more money to work with. They've been able to work with HD cameras now. They've been able to do a lot of stuff that they probably would have never even dreamed of, which I also think is just really, really cool. So I would say if you're interested in something that's a little bit different, that's like on the lines of like a B movie type of experience, I think, Ugandan cinema is actually a pretty nice pick, especially if you're a fan of like low budget, low grade action movies. I think you can definitely get a kick out of Who Killed Captain Alex or Bad Black, because there's martial arts, there's a lot of gunplay, there's a high body count, and there's countless references to other action heroes like Schwarzenegger and Stallone and Van Damme, and other action films like Predator and Rambo and so on. So yeah, definitely give them a look sometime. They're free on YouTube, Bad Black and Who Killed Captain Alex. But anyway, thanks for watching my thoughts on Wakaliwood and a couple of their films. And until next time, I'll see you later.